Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, September 21st. It is 6:20 right now. Market's gonna open in about 9 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. There, a few more things here. One last thing. And we should be on our way. All right, looks good. So let me go ahead and send this link out to you guys here in the premium. All right, I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And then we'll get started shortly. So, all right, guys, morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, September 21st. It is 6:22 right now. Market's gonna open in about 8 minutes. Looks like people are still making their way in, so I'll get a few more moments for people to join. As people join in, we're going to start off with marking up liquidity over here on the weekly time frame. We'll go from the weekly down to the 10-minute, and then from there we'll take a look at everything else. Had some news pre-market over here, and we'll see. It was a big candle right here for pre-market news. I think it was unemployment claims and stuff like that, but we'll we'll go over that shortly. So, all right, let's see who's here so far. Morning, Karen. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Rashida. Morning, everybody. Yeah, it looks like people are still making their way in, but I'll just start marking up liquidity here because this is typically going to be self-explanatory for majority of you guys. So I'll mark up liquidity right there, right there, right there, right there. Got a bunch of liquidity over here. And this is all on the weekly time frame. We'll go down to the daily time frame. There, it's good right there. Going down to the 8-hour. There. Going down to the 4-hour. Two-hour time frame. Down to the 1 hour. Now down to the 30-minute, I'll change the color from blue to red. Since this is now considered low quality liquidity. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And I think that should be about it. Right back down to the 1 minute. All right, cool. So looking at current liquidity, We currently have the closest upper liquidity over here, which is at 34,581. It's a low level liquidity. So if you guys are looking to take it, I'd probably only go for 100 pips. As I mentioned before, guys, I typically don't take liquidity by itself. I usually take it as a confluence. But if you are looking for the upper level liquidity, there's going to be a level that's pretty close right here. It is about 20 points away, which is 200 pips. And then below here, we have the lower level, which is a higher level liquidity. It's at 34,487. This is about 800 pips away. However, it is a higher level of liquidity. So whichever you guys are looking for, we have liquidity on both sides right there. This level will probably get hit pre-market. So I don't know if this is something anybody would be able to take because it happens right before. If you guys do want to take it, it's up to your own risk if you guys plan on doing that. But I do have a liquidity market up there so that you guys can see where it's currently sitting. So first level is going to be right here at 34,581. This will probably get hit before because it's so close to current price. It's now about 10 points away. So it's pretty close. Other than that, let's take a look at news real quick. So looking over here at the news calendar, we had news over here at 5:30. It was jobless claims, continuing jobless claims, initial jobless claims, Philly Fed new orders, etc. Just a bunch of like inflation news and job claims and stuff regarding the economy. And the jobless claims here are important because this kind of dictates if we're in a recession or not. Recession's been talked this entire year. They've never confirmed that we're going to recession, but as you guys can see over here, the numbers have increased tremendously. So for last month, it was 224,000 jobless claims. Now it is 217. So it's actually better. The news for today was good, but you guys can see from the drop over here that it was a manipulated push, right? Because the news was all good this morning at 5:30, but price came down super heavily and it corrected right back up. So whenever you guys see price go opposite of news, look for that correction. Look for a V1 variation or V2 or something like that down below, and you can find the correction back to the upside. Because for example, here, the news happened, and I'll mark up news price right here. News happened right here at 5:30, and you can see if you caught this drop right here, you could have waited for the V1 variation, which happened right over here. And you could have taken this V1 variation all the way up. Right? So we'll take a look at news again today. We have more news coming up at, 7 o'clock. So some more high impact news at 7 o'clock and then some low impact news at 7:30. So we got news coming up right here at 7 and then some more news over here at 7:30. Otherwise, there's not really much else to look at for today. Other than that, taking a look at retail sentiment, it's currently 50-50. So it's flat neutral right now for retail sentiment. There's not really any one-sided push. Looking over here at the fundamentals, they're currently down 177 points. So currently bearish right now. Looking over here at the technicals, they're currently neutral for a short term and bearish for a long term. So I'll go and put that up over here as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put up today's overall bias. So today's overall bias, retail sentiment is neutral, 50% short long, almost about 50% short. Fundamental bias is currently bearish, it's down 170 points. Short-term technicals are neutral, long-term technicals are bearish. So we have somewhat of a bearish bias, but it's not very strong. Hey Shib, how's it going? Gosh, yeah, no, good to see you back, Shib. I know I haven't seen you here for the past couple of days, which is fine because the past couple of days were actually not good, Shib. So it's a good thing that you weren't here. Volatility is very low, and there's a lot of crazy movement pre-market. So you didn't really miss out on much. Hey, Marcy, morning. Morning, Maria. Morning, everybody. All right, looks like pretty much everybody's here so far. So good morning, everybody. Today's Thursday, September 21st. Market's going to open in about 30 seconds. We've marked up news and pretty much everything necessary So we'll see where the market pushes. Well, I mean, it's pushing right now. We have some crazy movement right here, guys. We've been having this a lot for the past couple of days. You want to be careful with this crazy movement right here because this is, I mean, it makes it very risky for the breakout V2 because this is a lot of pre-market manipulation. Basically, this is reaction to the news that happened earlier today. It was good news that happened with regard to the jobless claims. Price actually came down based off that, and then now it's starting to climb up super heavily. So just be careful if you guys are looking to take any entries right here. You kind of want to wait for price to stabilize a bit. So for the breakout V2, you know, like Sisu just mentioned over here, he said not chasing. Yeah, you probably shouldn't chase this move here, guys. I'll mark up the breakout V2. I don't know if I'll take it because this is the same situation that happened yesterday and the day before that. You know, whenever we have these crazy movements, either pre-entry or pre-market, it usually messes with the breakout V2 because it causes a lot of uncertainty with regard to direction. So I'm going to go ahead and mark up opening price right here. But again, I'm probably going to hold off on taking this here. I'll mark it up if it comes up, which it will probably come up soon. But I'm probably not going to take it. I just want to give you guys a heads up there because for one, price is a bit overextended, and for two, there's a lot of uncertainty with regard to where price is going to go. You know, the thing with trading, guys, is that you have to learn from your mistakes, right? We made these mistakes. Well, we didn't really make mistakes, but we figured out where price was kind of iffy, and it's typically when price is moving like this pre-market. So we don't necessarily we don't learn from mistakes because we didn't really make mistakes here. We just learn from, you know, market conditions. So you can see right here, there's no direction. Price pretty much spiked up a little bit. Right here, pre-market kind of climbed up a little bit. Now it's coming right back down. So you want to be careful with any entry that you guys take here because the volatility is too high and it's too uncertain. It's not just climbing up and it's not just climbing down, right? It's kind of going back and forth. So this is a problem if you guys are looking to take certain trades, especially breakout entries, because you can get caught on the wrong side very easily. So yeah, I'm going to kind of sit tight a little bit right here. You guys can see this volatility is extremely heavy. You can see the market over here is super flat. ATR is currently at 10, very flat, down to 9, it was actually below 10. And then on open right here, price kind of spiked almost 1,000 pips. That's a lot of pips right there, points, 100 points. Yeah, so technically the breakout V2 here it might be for a sell because we have a sell signal here. If you get two green candles, or sorry, if you get two red candles, it's technically a sell. If you get two green candles here, this is possibly a buy for the momentum counter scalp. So there's two different strategies that are currently pending right now. For the breakout V2, you're looking for two momentum signals in the direction of momentum. And then if you're looking for the momentum counter scalp, you're looking for two candles opposite of momentum. So we have the opening candle right here. We have a sell momentum. If you get two green candles, that's technically going to be the momentum counter scalp if you guys are looking to take that trade. We're documenting both of those trades right now. Those are the two new strategies that we're kind of working with. They're not necessarily new. They're more of a variation to something we've already done in the past. So, you know, it's something that we have to test. I can't tell what candle this was right here. It just looks like a doji. So I can't count that as a green candle. So you're still looking for two green candles here or two red candles. If you get two red candles, that's a breakout V2. If you get two green candles, that's going to be the momentum counter scalp. So two different strategies there to look for. I'm not going to chase this. Yeah, just like Maddie said, he said he's sitting on his hands, not going to chase. Rashida said she took the liquidity and she took it for partial. Nice work. So looks like liquidity over here hit. Yeah. So if you guys took that liquidity, it happened pre-market, just like I mentioned, and it went straight up. So if you guys took that first entry right there for liquidity, that hit, now it looks like price is attempting to come down and knock out the next level of liquidity right here. So it's on its way to liquidity down here. If you guys want to take this next level, I would probably only go for 100 pips because it is overextended. I mean, it might be good enough to hit your, you know, first level there just a little bit, but this looks like it'll be the target for current price if it continues to drop lower. So yeah, if we get another red candle here, this is technically going to be the breakout V2. Again, guys, I'm not looking to take it because, I mean, look at this crazy movement here, guys. It's not even worth the risk, right? If you're taking this as a breakout V2, it's going to be a pretty heavy move down. I mean, if you guys really want to take the breakout V2, I would probably only take it for 100 pips. It's just, this movement here is just a little too crazy. I'm going to document it, but I'm not going to take it because you guys can see all this crazy movement pre-market. From all the losses that we've had from the breakout V2, it was due to this crazy movement pre-market or pre-entry. So we got about 20 seconds left on this candle. If this candle closes red, this is technically going to be the breakout V2 entry. But again, like I mentioned, guys, it's not necessarily the best type of entry to take here because price can really just whipsaw back and forth. The best trait that a trader can have is really understanding when not to trade. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this up here. I'm not going to take the trade. I'll follow it. But again, I'm not going to take the trade here. So it looks like it's coming down right there. It looks like it might hit TP. If you guys are in this position, I would probably, in my opinion, I would move stop loss and profit. Or if you're happy with half profit right now, I would take half profit. It's just the movement right now is just, I'm not feeling it with how it's currently, pushing through. I mean, it's probably going to hit TP because it's getting close to liquidity. I mentioned over here, target price point is going to be liquidity. But you might get some back and forth movement before it gets to that point. But yeah, that's probably where price is going to reach, and it looks like it's going to hit it right there. So still not down yet, but it is on its way down, as you guys can see. So right here, you can see price is starting to whipsaw a little bit. So hopefully you guys listen to my advice there and you guys put your stop loss in profit, because if you didn't, you're now in some drawdown. So either, this is not the day to get greedy, guys. You are already at like 90% in profit. If you should have just pulled out in profit if you guys are in that position, or you should have moved your stop loss in profit. I'm always looking out for your guys' best interest. So if I do think the trade's going to be risky, you should probably listen to my advice, because it's doing exactly what I just said was going to happen. I said it was going to probably whipsaw up, and you want to protect your position if you were in it. So nice work. Natasha took it for partial and she's out. I'm not in this position. I'm just following you guys. I'm following it for the documentation of the strategy, but I'm not in this position here specifically. There's a possible entry coming up right here for a momentum counter scalp for a buy. I'm not going to take that because I'm not going to go against the breakout V2. But again, there's another setup right here for a momentum counter scalp if this closes green. So if it closes green, momentum counter scalp, I'll mark it up, but I'm not going to take it because I don't want to, I feel like that's bad luck. I wouldn't want to go against an active trade that's currently running. So it's not closing green, or it hasn't closed green yet. Yeah, so there's no entry there for a momentum counter scalp yet. I'll keep watching it, but you guys can see a lot of crazy movement here back and forth, a lot of uncertainty with regard to direction. This is one of those days where you should probably just sit out and wait. And then once the market stabilizes, we can look for some momentum pullback scalps, or we can look for some, continuation moves. So it's coming back down right here. Preferably, I would prefer that this comes down to hits TP, because I want to count this, like I want our documentation to show that the losing streak has ended. But, I'm just keeping this as a documentation for this strategy. So trade's still running right now. But you guys can see this trade is running for a while. Typically, this breakout should hit like within the first 2 candles or so, right? This strategy's been running for 1, 2, 3, about 3 minutes now. It's a little too long for a breakout. Breakout's supposed to hit right away, right immediately. A lot of uncertainty with regards to direction of price. We'll see where this goes. So we got 2 red candles, or actually the entry already played out actually for the other strategy. And it is still following through right here. So I'm still hoping price comes down and hits TP, because for our documentation purposes, we want this to be like, we want the strategy to hit. That's going to bring us confidence with the future moves that we're going to be looking for. But this is probably a good idea that we kind of just sat out of it, or for me personally, sat out of it because I'd be probably stressed out right now waiting for this. It's on its way to liquidity though, so target price point still hasn't been hit. So you guys see right there where I circled, it still has not hit that target price point. So it's on its way down still, but you guys can see that there's a lot of uncertainty if it's going to continue dropping or if it's going to bounce. It's just going back and forth a lot. Yeah, CC said he took it for partial, Rashida took it for partial, Natasha took it for partial. CC said he's sitting on his hands, absolutely waiting for the market to stabilize from here on. Kenneth took it for partial as well. It's taking too long to close. And so it looks like a lot of you guys here took it for a partial profit, which is great. I mean, profit's profit, guys. In a market like this, if you're making at least some profit off this specific move, I mean, it's good because I'd rather be in profit and out than be stressing out about this hitting TP, because this is usually where it comes down to your trade psychology getting screwed up for the day, right? Because if you're in this position for a long time and you're so close to your TP, there you go, full TP off the breakout. Okay, so the breakout hit full TP right there, guys. That was a nice win for you guys who took it. For me, you know, if you don't feel comfortable about a position, just don't take it. I didn't feel comfortable about it, so I didn't take it. But it did play out, and it blasted right through right there. It took a lot longer than it should have, but the good thing here is that it did hit. So, you know, this shows that there's proof of concept behind the strategy. The strategy is not just like some random strategy that we're applying. This just shows that it plays through and it hits. It looks like the target price point hit as well. So double wins right there, triple wins basically. We had a liquidity up here pre-market. We had the breakout V2 hit right there, and then we had another liquidity right there. So 3 strategies back to back all hit full TPs. It was a messy move, but it did hit, and it played out perfectly. So nice work to you guys if you guys took it. If you guys didn't take it, it's completely fine. Just hang around. We're gonna look for another entry as price continues to play through. So I'm gonna go ahead and update this right here. Today is the 21st, 9/21/23. This was for a sell. Like that. It's for a sell. It was a win, 250. Copy this over. All right, so looking at this right here, I mean, the win ratio is still pretty decent, guys, for this strategy. So there goes the spreadsheet for the breakout V2. We got that right here. Here is a momentum counter scalp that's currently pending right now. I'm going to document this as well. Again, I'm still not going to take the entry because the market is still kind of moving a little bit jumpy right now, but I will mark it up and I'll follow this. As an entry if it does close. I'm not going to take the entry, but I'm going to follow it because we're still documenting this trade. So for today, the breakout V2 hit full TP. For the counter scalp, we're looking for this here now. If this is going to close and play through. All right, so there goes the counter scalp right there. It's currently running. I'm not in the position. We're just documenting this for the spreadsheet. Yeah, exactly. Daniel said it's opposite of the momentum pullback scalp right there. It's conflicting. Yeah, I agree. So that's a problem with applying 2 different strategies that are kind of opposite. That's why I don't really like the counter scalp very much, because it's conflicting with other strategies like the momentum pullback scalp. Well, actually, let me see if there's one here. So the pullback scalp actually came through over here already, Daniel. So we had a sell signal, or actually, no, because the trend hasn't shifted yet. So you're right. This would be conflicting the momentum pullback scalp, because price pullback right here, entry be at the 90. For me personally, I would go with the pullback scalp. So instead of going for the buy here, I would go for the sell, just like what you said, Daniel. So for the momentum pullback scalp or momentum counter scalp, it's not one of my favorite strategies because it goes against what we typically trade for, right? Because we typically like to trade in the direction of trend and then in the direction of well, I mean, it already hit. So if you guys took this, so you technically could have taken both right here. So the momentum pullback scalp retracement happened right here. Entry would be at the 90 mark, which would be right there. You would go for 100 pips, right? And it would actually wouldn't even hit, or yeah, it did. So this already did hit CP. So I mean, technically you could have run both if you really, really wanted to, but I probably wouldn't because they'd be conflicting, just like what Daniel said. So if I take this off right here, this right here is a momentum pullback scalp. We had a sell momentum signal, bearish trend for the pivots, bearish trend for the trend meter. We had this green candle here that retraced up. Entry would be at the 90 mark right there. That's where you have your sell limit sitting. It would fill it, go straight to TP, and you'd be out of the position. And then for the counter scalp, it'd be opposite because you have the sell momentum, and then you have 2 green candles right here pushing to the upside. So I mean, technically there's 2 trades running at the same time. And it's kind of hard to determine, but if I was to choose between the 2, I would go with the momentum pullback scalp versus the momentum counter scalp, because the counter scalp is contrary to what we typically look for. We typically look to trade in the direction of momentum and the direction of trend. Let's see, Sisu said entries need confidence, otherwise you're just chasing. That's where losses occur. Yeah, and I agree with you 100%, Sisu. Yeah, Maddie said, I'm just watching all these entries hit today. Didn't feel comfortable with any of the trades. Yeah, same here, Maddie. I'm with you on that one. So we're not documenting the momentum pullback scalps because there's too many entries that come up. We're still documenting the counter scalp and the breakout V2 because those are once-a-day strategies. So we'll continue to follow this here. I'm still going to document this if and when it, there you go, play through. Okay, so the momentum counter scalp hit. Basically all the strategies that came up today, they all hit. So for one, we had the momentum pullback scalp that hit right there, full TP. And then we have the momentum counter scalp that hit right there, full TP. We had the breakout V2 that hit right there, full TP. We had liquidity above, hit full TP, liquidity down below, hit full TP. And every strategy is hit today. I didn't take any of the entries, so unfortunately I have no profits to share at the moment, but all the strategies hit. So if you guys took any of the entries that we identified, great work, guys. I haven't taken anything yet, so I'm still going to continue following the movement here, and I'll look for any momentum pullback scalps as price continues to move along. But anyways, I'm going to update the spreadsheet here for the counter scalp. So this entry came up right here at 642. Came up at 642. So I mean, this is a good thing because we have the data here, and the data is just going to keep giving us. I mean, it's going to help us really understand these strategies better and help us trust them moving forward. Right. I think that's our main task here when we're doing this. So looking over here for the momentum counter scalp, we currently have. So I pretty much pull this data from like live trading sessions so that we can see, which strategy works very well, which strategy doesn't. So we know what to use, what not to use. Looking at the momentum counter scalp, this here has about 20 wins and 4 losses for about a little over a month now, almost 2 months, for a total win-loss ratio of 83.33%. Total profit is 1,000 pips. So this is a pretty good strategy if you guys want to apply. It's a negative risk score, so it's a little risky, but if it has that very high win rate like this, it's worth taking because you're going to go on very long win streaks. You have a couple losses here and there, but not very often. Looking over here at the breakout V2. So the breakout V2 right here currently has, let's get this. All right, the breakout V2 currently has 18 wins and 11 losses. Total profit is 1,750 pips. Total trade of 29, one every single day. And then for the win-loss ratio, it's currently at a 62.07% win rate. So for this right here, this is a one-to-one strategy. So you can, as long as you have above a 50% win-loss ratio, it's perfectly fine. There's a bit of a losing streak that happened here, but we do have data on it regarding, why it lost and how we could have avoided it. So this looks fine too. I mean, they both look fine. The breakout V2 looks fine. The momentum counter scalp looks fine. I mean, it's just up to your guys' preference. We haven't taken any trades since the 19th. So, I mean, I'm pretty much flat right now, unfortunately. The market's been kind of, it's been pretty slow for the most part. I mean, yesterday was slow. The day before that was slow. Today was kind of choppy. So I've been a little more careful with my entries. Looking at this over here. So it's a question from Marcin. Marcin's asking if the high level momentum. Yeah, there's a high level momentum right here. So we had a lower low. There's a buy signal that broke and closed past the pivots 1 and 2 right here. However, I think this is one I would probably skip, guys, because the candle was too big. It's obviously a red flag, and it's at news price right there. So it's one that I would personally skip. Some people would still take it, but if you were just looking for the specific criteria of the strategy, this would have been the entry right there, and it would have hit TP. So there was a lower low right there. This candle broke and closed past pivots 1 and 2. And that'd be the high low momentum scalp. So it looks like Natasha identified it and Marcin identified it. And Daniel identified it too. Yeah, Daniel said the same thing I said. So Daniel said high-low momentum just hit, didn't take it though, candle was too huge. Yeah, I agree. The candle was just too big. If the candle was bigger than your stop loss, I probably would skip it because it would probably retrace. And if it retraces to at least the candle size, it can hit your stop loss before going up and hitting your TP. So yeah, if you guys are looking for the setup, that was the setup. But there's a couple of red flags there. Candle was too big and it was at news price. Yeah, exactly. Daniel said got burned on the big candle yesterday. It's a no for him. Yeah, and that's how you learn, guys. So like with these tradings, when you guys take these trades and you guys analyze, you don't really make mistakes. All you do is you learn from them. So you learn from the decisions that you make when you trade. If you traded a certain strategy in the past and you notice, okay, I lose this trade every time the candle's too big, then in the future, you're not going to take that trade. And that's how I came up with the red flag. So I don't trade when the candles are too big. If it's at any of these horizontal lines, which is news price, opening price, or sessions, because in the past, I've noticed that that's where I lose trades. So that's why we created the red flags. Let's see. Let's see. Miguel's asking, is there a high low between the lower low and no, there isn't anything here, Miguel, because there's only one lower low right here. There's nothing in between. So there's a lower low, there's nothing in between, there's momentum right there. So it should be, it's a straight push. It's got lower low, momentum, and then it's straight up to the upside. It's basically just a breakout move. So you're looking for the lower low and you're looking for price to break out in the opposite direction. Kind of similar to what happened up here too. It's the same situation up here. There's a higher high, sell signal, and then it broke right through. This is pretty much part of the breakout. So same difference. It's just the candles were too big as well for both of them. Nice. So Natasha said for the high-low momentum scalp right here, she actually waited for the candle to retrace before entering. So she waited for this pullback and then she entered. So that's a smart move right there to Natasha. That's something that I would do. So like if I wanted to take an entry for a high-low momentum scalp and the candle's too big, I would wait for price to retrace and I would put a buy stop right there. So when it pushes up, it fills your order and it goes straight to TP. So I mean, there's different ways of applying this. There's a ton of different theories and ways to enter the position better. Typically, that's how I would trade too. So if you guys have seen me before, if I see an entry like a V1 variation or a V2 variation, and price pulls back, then I'll just put a pending order there. I'll just cash it and I'll swing right back up. Kind of similar to like what happened here too. Like we had a higher high, big red candle, price pulled up, would have put a sell stop right there, filled it, went straight down to profit. So, I mean, there's a ton of ways to really identify that. Yeah, no, definitely. Natasha said, you taught me that, Sean. Yeah, that's a smart way of doing it. If you still want to get into a position, but you don't want to get in right away. Sometimes you'll miss the position, but a lot of times it'll help you get in either for a discount or you'll get in at better positioning. All right, we got some more profits over here. We have Kenny with a total profit of 3,020 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. So solid profits right there. We have David over here, total profit of 44.25 and his second trade 8.49. So total profit of approximately 50 for the day. Nice work, David. So great profits right there. Looking over here at the Discord, we have some profits over here from Barty. So Barty over here locking 1,555. Nice work, Barty. Kenny here 3,020. Nice work, Kenny. Natasha, total profit of 262 for the day. Nice work, Natasha. And then she took another trade, total profit of 416 for the day. So nice work right there, Natasha. And then lastly, we have Maria here with a total profit of 288. Nice work, Maria. All right, so I don't have any profits myself yet, guys, but I'm still looking for a possible opportunity for entries. The volatility right now is pretty nice. It's currently at 24 right now, so it's pretty high. We had news coming up right here at 7 o'clock, so I might have to wait for entry, but I will be looking for possible momentum pullback scalps. So the main entries that I'm looking for here are going to be momentum pullback scalps. Volatility is a little high right now, but I think it's going to start to stabilize pretty soon. I'm still trying to take some trades over here on my Top Step account, but right now I have to kind of be careful because if my TP stop loss is 10 points, it's just a little too tight. I'm gonna have to adjust it to something higher, like 15-15 or 20-20. If the volatility stays high. Because if the ATR is currently at 24 and my TP stop loss is at 10, it's just really quick for it to either hit TP or stop loss. And I think it might be a little too tight for even the move there. So we'll see where this ends up going. See, Vince said a V1 at 653 just hit, but he didn't take it. Yeah, V1 variation right there. Let's check the sentiment again. So looking at sentiment over here, it's still neutral. So sentiment right now is currently neutral. Looking over here at the fundamentals, they're down 150 points. Looking over here at the technicals, neutral, bearish. Yeah. So if you are looking for V1 variations, you probably would be looking for some sells right now. It's not very strong, but it is bearish. So if you really want to look for V1 variations, today's overall bias is still technically bearish. So Vince over here identified basically a double top or a double body. And that would have been an entry right here for a V1 variation. So yeah, if you guys took it, solid work right there. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine, guys. We got news coming up shortly. So might be best to kind of sit tight for a little bit. I'm going to wait for news here to pass. I'm going to see how price reacts to the news. And then once I see that, I'll start looking for some momentum pullback scalps. As we wait for that, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up the levels here. $60, $70, $80, $90, $10, $20, $30, $40, $50. All right, and then down below, $40, $30, $20, $10, $90, $80, $70, $60, $50. All right, so we got all the levels here marked up. As you guys can see, the levels are actually pretty close. When they're pretty close like this, I mean, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because the market's volatile. It's a bad thing because it's a little too volatile. Because their stop losses are kind of close, right? They're kind of tight. So it's a kind of a double-edged sword here when the volatility is very high. We typically like it, somewhere in the middle, like between 15 and 18. It's usually like the good sweet spot because it's not too volatile, but we'll play by ear. This is what I mean about volatility picking up in the spring, in the fall. So we're going from summer into the fall season. The volatility is very high. You can see here from open 6:30 up until now, ATR has been at above 20 pretty much all morning. We'll see if it flattens out here or if it stays volatile. If it continues to become volatile like this for the next couple of days or next couple of weeks, then we just need to adjust our TP stop loss. The reason for that is because if you're looking for, say, for example, a sell here, this is what your range is kind of looking like, right? It's kind of tight. So if it stays wide like this, like if it keeps moving very quickly, we'll just have to make some adjustments here. Instead of going for 10, we might go for 15, 15, 30. This is actually better because we'll have a 1 to 2 risk reward versus higher. So we'll have something like that. Or even, in some situations, you might even go for higher like that, 20, 40. We just make adjustments based on market movement. If the volatility stays high, we just make our adjustments and then we move with it. We don't necessarily make a change to the strategy. We just change our TP stop loss. So just keep that in mind, guys. Moving forward, if the volatility stays high, we're just going to adjust our TP stop loss. So like, for example, our breakout V2, typically it's at 25.25. If this becomes a case and the volatility is too high, then we might adjust this to like maybe 30.30, right? Or 35.35, or even some, like the original breakout was 50.50. We created this strategy during COVID, and it was because the volatility was extremely high. If you play this now, it's probably going to be almost impossible for it to hit most days. So that's why we had to adjust it to 25.25. So yeah, there's not going to be much change with regard to strategies. We're just going to be adjusting our TP stop loss, which is going to be more in our favor because it's going to be closer to a 1-to-1 versus a negative risk reward to catch these moves. So, all right, we're going to wait. We have news coming up in about 10 seconds. Once this news passes, we will see. It looks like this news might happen exactly at the other news. It's right at that pink line. All right, so I'm going to mark up news right over here. We got news right there. I'm going to go ahead and delete that, clean it up a little bit. This here's the news candle. We'll see how price reacts to it. Let's go over here to the news real quick. So the news for today at 7 o'clock was, all right, still pending. We have existing home sales, which was negative, and CB leading index, which was positive. So it was negative right there. Price technically should be coming down. You can see it's pushing up right here. So if it does get manipulated to the upside, maybe look for a V1 variation and catch the continuation lower, if that's something that you guys are looking for. I'm going to just log out of this thing. I don't want to keep a trade rate on there because I want you guys to think that I'm in certain positions. And also, since I'm taking like a lot of these, I'm not in any positions right now, but if I'm going to take these speculative moves, I don't necessarily want these to be confusing people that I'm in a position. So right now we're looking for price to kind of just bounce around a bit. The news was negative, so I think price will probably come back down. So I actually want price to be manipulated to the upside. If you see a V1 variation, it'll probably come down lower. But again, it's just going to be a matter of time until we start to get some stabilization in the market. Because there was just news, there was news pre-market. The market open right here reacted to the news that happened at 5:30, and then now we have more news right here at 7 o'clock. The news was negative, so it's probably going to continue. Yeah, news is negative right here. So I mean, CB leading index was positive, but it's not necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily say that it was good news or great news. It's more so just a continuation of like the news from earlier this week, because we did have inflation news earlier, and the CB leading index is just more inflation news. It's just the continuation of what's been released. So current Q2 account and CB leading index was positive, but it's pretty much flat. The thing that really changed here would be the existing home sales. So existing home sales went down. They were currently down 2.2%. They were expecting it to be better, but it was actually still negative. So the existing home sales are still negative right now. So we'll see. All right, we're going to start looking for some possible entries here for the momentum pullback scalp, but we're going to have to wait for there to be a direction. If you guys can see the pivots over here, the pivots aren't really angling up or down. They're kind of just going sideways. We need price to kind of push out of this area so that we can see where the direction of momentum is going. And then from there, we'll start looking for possible entries. Let me go to the clean chart so you guys can see stuff a lot better. So you guys can see price is actually far below opening price right here. I'm going to go in and mark up opening price right there and 8 o'clock right there. I'll mark up structure so that you guys can see where price is moving. So we got the higher high right there. Lower low down there. Yeah, it's just a bit of a, I mean, it's a big range right now. This is where price is ranging at the moment. So it's just going back and forth. I mean, it's below the opening price, and it's just like ranging between this, like below this area here. So basically the range is going to probably set up around this area over here. Like once we have another structure that's going to set up right there, and this will probably be the lower level. We don't have it yet, but it's eventually probably going to set up down here. So we'll see. But this is now the current range. Looking over here, let me see if there's any other liquidity that's nearby. I don't think there is any other liquidity. So liquidity will be, I mean, it's pretty far down. So price is currently up here right now. And if price does come down lower, it's about 1,500 pips away. It's a pretty long distance until it gets down to the next level of liquidity. One thing to probably pay attention to would be a second touch of this area here. Because what I'm thinking here is that liquidity didn't necessarily get knocked out yet. There's probably more liquidity just sitting down here. The level's right here. So I think if price continues to climb down lower, on that second touch, it might be opportunity to catch the drop further down. Because I think there's going to be more orders sitting down here. But I mean, who knows? We'll see. There's not really much telling, guys. Like, honestly, when you guys are looking for these here, a lot of people try to predict the market, but it's hard to really tell where price is going when it's not very consistent. So market opened right here. Let me just go to the clean chart again. So market opened right here. If this was a nice continuation down, it'd be smooth, right? It'd be easy to identify where liquidity is going to get hit. The problem with this here is that price came down, faked out right here, came back up, and then now it's trying to make its way back down. But the thing is, this area has already been knocked out. All this liquidity was already hit right here. So this here is just a continuation back down, but it's not necessarily, a smooth move like we would typically want it to be. So yeah, probably look out for the next level of liquidity to get hit right here, because there's more liquidity sitting below. All right, we got a sell signal right here. This is not going to be a momentum pullback scalp because this candle is too high. We need price to actually drop below, retrace, and continue from there. As you guys can see from the screen candle, it's a huge candle, right? It's something to be careful for. This is why volatility it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because you want the volatility to be there, but you don't want the volatility to be too crazy where it starts to spike back and forth. Like, you want your order to get filled and continue dropping. You don't want your order to get filled, spike up, and then get close to your stop loss and then come right back down. It's a little too messy right here, like we mentioned. Maddie mentioned in the chat, he said might have a manipulated push-up. CNBC released Dow falls for the third day. Let's update this real quick. Okay, some breaking news right here. So breaking news live updates is Dow falls for the third day, loses 100 points as treasury yields reach multi-year highs. Yeah, so you might get a push up and then a continuation back down. Again, a lot of uncertainty in the market. That's kind of what's happening right here, exactly what Maddie just mentioned. So just be careful, guys. I mean, if you guys want to take these entries, you might want to adjust your TP stop loss, because you guys can see how these candles kind of just spike. You randomly have like these you have these regular candles, and then all of a sudden you have these random spikes, right? These random spikes are not small spikes. They look like small candles, but if you measure them, like this candle right here spiked up like almost 300 pips. You compare those to these little candles right here. These are like 10, 15 pip candles or point candles versus this big one. If your stop loss is 300 pips or 30 points, you can get stopped out really quickly before it comes back down and continues. So just be smart about your positioning here, guys, and the trade that you decide to take. If you do want to trade now, you probably want to lower your lot size and maybe widen your TP stop loss. But I'm not going to make those changes yet, because I don't know if this volatility is going to stick. This volatility might just go back down, in the next couple of minutes or so. So I'm just going to sit tight and wait. Hoping I can catch a trade today because it's necessary. But we're not going to force anything. So if I see something good here, I'll take it. But right now we're not really seeing anything good here. Let's take a look at the sentiment. You guys can see over here in the sentiment, there's not really many people entering or exiting the market. It's still at the same. It was at 50.50 on open. Now it's at 49.51. So if there was a lot of retail traders trading right now, this would actually be moving higher, right? This would be like at 52, 53, 55, etc. But it moved up 1%. So you guys can see that a lot of retail traders aren't really messing with the market right now because they don't want to get screwed. a lot of this volatility movement is based off market makers and institutions. They're kind of just fighting for price. They're trying to push price up, push price down. And I don't blame them, because if you look at liquidity over here, if you zoom out, so let's just go on the higher time frame. Let's go on the 10-minute. You guys can see there's liquidity up here. So a lot of these market makers, some of them are pushing price up, and then some of them are pushing price down, right? They're not in agreement right now. Because if the market makers wanted price to continue dumping, they would just continue dropping price further. But they haven't done that, right? So just be smart about your positions, guys. Understand that the market right now is very uncertain. There's liquidity on both sides. It's highly manipulated right now. The market's always manipulated, but you have to understand when it's highly manipulated. Like if we had a lot of liquidity sitting down below, then great. I look for the continued drop. Or if we had a lot of liquidity sitting above, I would ride this up. But the thing with this here is that there's liquidity on both sides. So it's going to be a bit tough for us to identify. And if you go on the higher time frames, let's go on the 4-hour. You guys can see that there's liquidity on both sides, right? It's not just on one side. So, we'll keep watching for it, but at the moment, I would probably be careful with some entries here. There's a high-low scalp that Rashida just mentioned. Yeah, there's a high-low scalp right there. Buy signal, this candle right here, broken close past this high. And that'd be a straight TP right there, it looks like. Not one I would take, but it is a high-low scalp right there. It got literally right to TP, and then it came back down. So I don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market, guys, as you guys can see. Price is going back and forth. The trend over here hasn't really established, because the pivots here keep crossing over. You can see it was bearish, then it was bullish, then it was bearish, now it's back to bullish. We just got to wait for this here to kind of smooth it out, but it looks like price is continuing to push up. So if this is the case right here, we may have an opportunity for a momentum pullback scalp. All right, so price is climbing up a little bit right here. ATR is currently at 21. So we got price pushing up right here. Go and just set this up real quick. All right, so we're looking for a retracement. We have a bullish trend. We have a bullish momentum right here. So we have a buy momentum. We have a bullish trend with regard to the trend meter. It's green down below. And then looking at the pivots here, price is above the pivots. Pivots are angling up. You can see price is starting to climb. So as price pushes up right here, we'll look for the retracement and continuation. All right, so we're looking for a momentum pullback scalp setup right here. The volatility is kind of slowing down a bit, which is perfectly fine. If this candle here closes red and it's above this black line right here, this is technically an entry for a momentum pullback scalp. But again, you have to wait for it to close red. We need that retracement to confirm. Once we confirm that retracement, there'll be a possible entry for the momentum pullback scalp. No red candle right there. It is now kind of testing right here again as it pushes through. So we're just looking for a red candle here. Once we get the red candle, it's going to set up for a momentum pullback scalp. And then from there, you can take the entry if you guys feel confident with the entry there. If you don't feel confident, don't take it. But I will probably take this one here as, if price continues to provide opportunity. So we're looking for the red candle right here. If we get a red candle, we have about 20 seconds. Entry would be at the 70 mark. Price is still climbing right here. So it looks like it hit liquidity above the second touch of liquidity right there. Yeah, pretty much. So it looks like it's continuing to climb right there. Thanks. So yeah, if you guys took liquidity for the second touch, I mean, it touched again right there. Same level of liquidity right here that got hit. Same thing that happened again right there. I know some of you guys like to take that. It's not a strategy that we typically apply, but a lot of you guys like looking for these second touches. They come through and they blast right through, usually. All right, so we don't have that pullback yet. I'm still looking for that red candle. Measure price. It's getting close to 1,000. It's currently at 780 pips or 78 points. Let's see where this is at. Nice, Maddie. Yeah, no, I saw that too. Actually got into that on my top step because I saw the liquidity. So I used Natasha's confirmation that liquidity was getting hit, and I hopped into it as well. So I'm taking trades on my top step, guys, but I'm not taking any trades on the other ones. If you guys are not familiar with my top step, it's like I'm kind of just taking a lot of trades on the account because I need to get it. I need to pass it or fail it. It's going to be one or the other. So I'm taking a lot of speculative moves here. There's a possible entry right here, guys, for the momentum pullback scalp. So again, if we get the red candle, this will be setting up for a momentum pullback scalp. So the problem right here, guys, that we're looking at is that price is starting to get a bit overextended. We're measuring from this low over here up to here. If it gets back to opening price, it's going to be a bit overextended, which is not going to be a good sign because we don't want to enter trades when it's overextended. And it looks like it's getting to that point now. It's right back to open. Nice. Rashida took it back to open. Nice work, Rashida. This is the market. So like you guys can see how the market's kind of choppy, it gets messy, and then it goes super directional. It's very unpredictable right now for how price is going. Price pretty much went back to open. So you guys see the range that I drew earlier. It's now at that resistance. So I got another structure right here. So again, we have a clean chart right here. Price is still climbing. Price blasted through that liquidity. And it may be attempting to reach the upper level right there. Next level of liquidity. So if price continues to climb, that's going to be target price point. Liquidity up there. Yeah, still no retracement. Look how crazy this like directional push is. So it's just a straight correction back to opening price. And this is why I was telling you guys earlier that there just wasn't much of a direction here, right? So like market open right here for a sell, faked out, came back up for the retest, and then now just continue to climb up higher. So now it's climbing up at this point. This might be the actual direction for today. Bullish. But unfortunately, there's no pullback here, so we can't even take the entry for the momentum pullback scalp. At this point, price is very overextended. I wouldn't recommend chasing this up. If you guys already missed the move, you missed the move, right? Wait for the next pullback. So price pushed up right here. It's up 122 points, which is 1,220 pips. It's very overextended from where it's currently at. It pretty much just filled the gap. So like you guys can see this big push from the downside on open. It pretty much just pushed all the way up and filled the gap. It came up right here, faked out, came back down, and then it went up and just filled this entire move right here from open. So market opened right here at 630. Price pretty much dumped from this point, about 1,500 pips, pushed up a little bit, faked out, and then from this fake out right here, it went straight up and now it's up 120, basically 130 points, which is 1,300 pips. Now, what a crazy market. It's like such a mess. Yeah, I'm not going to take the momentum pullback scalp, guys. I'll follow it. If it comes up, I'll mark it up for you guys, but I'm not going to take it myself personally. It's just too much of an overextension that I don't want to get caught on the wrong side. All right, so again, it's just the waiting game. And we have more news over here at 7:30. The good thing is that volatility is up. So that's the positive here. We're not watching a flat market. It's either, I mean, this whole week's been kind of crazy. If you guys have been following our live sessions Monday through Thursday this week, it was kind of busy on Monday. So it looked good on Monday, a lot of volatility. We made good profit. Then very slow Tuesday, Wednesday, and then today it's pretty volatile again. Yeah, Andrew said he thinks he'll wait for the next momentum. I think so too. C-Suk said, yeah, 8 continuous candles, no thanks. Yeah, there's pretty much eight back-to-back green candles right here, guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a lot of green candles right there. It's gonna have to retrace. You can't just have like 100 green candles, right? It's gonna have to pull back eventually. At least one candle is gonna have to pull back. Yeah, the continuation right there is crazy. If you guys look over here, there hasn't been a continuation like that. And I mean, I can't even remember. There's one right here is about 4 candles, but that was about it. Add another one to that C-Suk 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nine green candles. Yeah, so if anything, the retracement is probably gonna be heavy. Because look, check this out. So if you're not looking at the 1 minute, if you go on the 5 minute, look how big that candle is. You go on the 10 minute, look how big that candle is. It's gonna have to retrace at some point, right? But I would be careful following a candle like this or a movement like this in general. So technically, if this closes red, the entry would be right here. It looks like a 10th candle right there, Sisu, almost. Yep, there goes 10 candles. Almost 10 seconds. No, oh. No, okay, so there goes the pullback. The entry would technically be right here for a momentum pullback scalp, but again, I wouldn't take this entry here because it's due for retracement. I mean, if you guys want to take it, it's up to you. I've marked it up for you guys there. I'm not going to take it. It's just way too, like, this is a clear example of overextension. Sometimes we'll see price kind of push up a lot, like very heavily, and we'll say, okay, this is overextended. But this right here is like true overextension. So if you guys take the momentum pullback scalp, it did hit. Unfortunately, it's not one I felt comfortable taking, so I didn't take it. But if you guys wanted to take it, I did mark it up right there. It went straight to TP. So as you guys can see, the strategy works perfectly fine. And I gave you guys a heads up there and you guys had the opportunity to enter, but I don't feel comfortable taking a trade that's overextended this far. So I didn't take it myself, even though the strategy did line up how it's supposed to line up and it played through perfect and blasted right through TP. So at this point, you might want to be a little careful. I think price is probably going to consolidate here for a bit. And then at this point, it's going to do one of two things. It's either going to continue climbing or it's going to retrace down very hard. So momentum pullback scalp pair right there. I'll take this off a chart. So one of two things is going to happen, or one of three things actually. Price is for sure going to consolidate around here, consolidate a range. And then the one of two things that may happen after this is price is either going to continue climbing or it's going to come back down for retracement. So that's something to look out for. The thing that you want to look out for as well is the consolidation here can be wide. It can be a wide range. So it doesn't have to be a tight consolidation. It can range pretty far off and then eventually it'll break out. So what I would personally be looking for here for us here, I would be looking for a retracement momentum signal. And then what I'm going to look for next is I'm going to look for another buy signal. And then once I get that buy signal, I'm going to catch the continuation. And then once we get that, I'm going to look for another momentum pullback scalp somewhere around here. It's just going to be a matter of time until it comes up. You know, the entry is going to come up. The thing with trading, guys, is that there's always going to be more opportunities. So if you miss the opportunity, like for example, if you miss the entry right here, that's completely fine because there's going to be another one that's going to come up eventually. It's just going to be a matter of time, but it will come up. So we'll continue following along. And if we see anything good, we'll take it. But right now, I just don't see anything good. I'm still looking for momentum pullback scalps at the moment. There could be a high-low momentum scalp setting up right here, but again, a little risky because the overextension to the upside could just be a continuation. So, I mean, I'll just be careful with the entries here. So looking over here at sentiment, it looks like a lot of sellers, or not really a lot of sellers, like maybe 1% of retail traders have entered the sell side. They're trying to cash the top. So I think if this number here keeps increasing, price will continue to climb. So I'm hoping retail traders start to chase the sell, because if they start to chase the sell, they're going to let people kind of cash those sells. And then as soon as price gets filled on that side, or enough sellers are filled, they'll push price up and stop everybody out. And that'll be in our favor because we're looking for a buy here anyways. So we got the sell signal here. This is a good sign. We're now looking for a buy signal. The other thing that we want to be careful for is news that's coming up right here at 7:30. I think it's low to medium impact news, but it's still something that we should look out for. Okay, so it's just gas stock change. So gas news right here. This is actually going to be, I mean, it kind of just depends, because I don't know how gas is around the world or like around the US, but right now in California, in LA specifically, gas prices are extremely high. They're like $7 a gallon right now. So this gas stock change could affect the market. I don't know if the gas prices are very high, like on the East Coast or the Midwest, but over here in California, gas prices have just skyrocketed over the weekend. So, I mean, we'll see. That's kind of just using like, you know, your general information to understand like how this might affect the market. The thing, gas stocks don't typically affect the market directly, but if you guys are not familiar with like how this affects the market, is that a lot of gas stocks are in US30. So if you're trading US30, obviously, which is all of us here, and you look at the stock index for US30, there's a couple stocks here like Chevron, right? If the gas stocks affect the market, Chevron's going to be affected, and it's going to push price in one direction or the other. So just, you know, keep that in mind. Yeah, exactly. Gion said gas is over $5 a gallon now. Yeah, here in Irvine, it's like almost $7. Yeah, Andrew too. Andrew said it's 687 in the valley. Yeah, price has just went up like over the weekend. Daniel too. Daniel's in Nevada, so he said $100 to fill his tank yesterday. So it seems like it's kind of a widespread thing. So we'll see what happens when the news is released right here at 7:30. It's going to affect a couple of stocks here. It's going to affect Chevron, of course, probably Boeing, even though it's not necessarily, you know, car gas. It's just a lot of these companies are kind of connected in one way or another. So we'll see how that pretty much how that affects price and how it pushes it around. Price here is still retracing, as you guys can see. One thing that I want to keep a lookout for would be the retail sentiment. I think retail sentiment over here is going to be a big deciding factor with regard to you know, where we plan on trading. So if I see these numbers here increase, then I'm going to be looking for obvious buys, because I want to see those sellers get stopped out, and I want to be chasing or pretty much riding that wave in that direction. Let's go back to liquidity. All right, so price is still a bit far from the upper level of liquidity right there. But if it does continue back up, like if we get a V1 variation somewhere over here, I think that's something that you guys could look out for. If you get a V1 variation, oh fuck, sorry guys. If you get a V1 variation somewhere around here, let me turn on the, there you go, the high-low indicators on. You know, we'll just turn on all the indicators here so that you guys can see. Refresh this. Okay. So you guys can kind of see where price is going. I mean, this kind of gives you a good understanding as to like where to look for entries, because you do have the direction kind of in mind. So you have the bullish direction here. If price continues to climb, like if you get a V1 variation here, and price continues to climb up, you know, target price point will probably be the liquidity above. All right, so price is still dropping, which is completely fine. It's not a big deal. See if there's any changes here. All right, short term is still neutral, long term is still bearish. Looking over here at the fundamentals are still currently down 123 points. This was the breaking news. The WWE SmackDown returns to NBC Universal in more than 1.4 billion deal. Yeah, so I mean, that's going to affect other things in the Dow, not necessarily. I mean, there's networks that are in the index, or networks that are like somewhat connected. I mean, Comcast isn't on here anymore. I forgot what got changed to. Daniel said The Rock came out of retirement. Yeah, Stone Cold too, huh? Stone Cold and Undertaker. All right, so let's get back to the charts over here. There's no entries for us right now, guys. We have the news coming up right here in about a minute. So let's see what happens here at 7:30. The volatility has died down heavily though. So you can see over here down at the ETR, it's currently at 16. So it's pretty much kind of flattened out a bit. We just had this big push to the upside and then it kind of flattened out. So now it's starting to flatten out right here. We got news coming up in about a few minutes. I think price will come down a little bit until this number here kind of shifts. I think so what I can see here is that they're probably looking to lure in some more sellers. So they're luring in people to chase this, like what people think is the top, basically. They want people to think that this is the top. So if people think this is the top and they start chasing the sells, like what happens here, price will just come down a little bit. So people think price is coming down. And then all of a sudden, it goes right back up. Right. So you just have to think of things, you gotta think outside of the box. And I think that's what makes us so successful here as traders, is that we don't trade like everybody else. We always think outside of the box. If everybody's looking for a sell, we're typically looking for a buy. And if everybody's looking for a buy, we're typically looking for a sell. Right now, we don't really have that luxury because the sentiment here is pretty much flat. It hasn't really changed too much. If you guys were trading with me in the summer or like early summer, the sentiment was changing like almost every couple minutes. It would go from like 60% to like 70% to like 75, and it was just moving pretty crazy. It seems like right now a lot of retail traders are being a little more careful. Let me take a look at this again real quick. So the FOMC news came out yesterday right here at 11 o'clock, and price started to tumble its way down. I mean, we'll see what happens here. I think price is going to make a correction. So, I mean, if you use the 1 hour time frame, I think, or 30 minutes probably better. So looking at the 30-minute time frame right here, the FOMC news came out yesterday, which is right here. Right. So if you're looking for a correction, the correction is probably going to happen eventually. It'll come back to that point, probably from now until the end of next month, or from now until FOMC news next month. And then from here, it'll come back down. Because if you guys follow the FOMC news from yesterday, they mentioned that although there wasn't a rate hike this month, there's going to be a rate hike before the end of the year. So we have October, November, December, right? In 3 months, the interest rates are going to go up. It's going to happen within those 3 months. So I don't think price is just going to keep climbing down. It's going to push up a little bit. And then when that interest rate news comes out, it's going to dump super heavy. So I mean, we'll probably be ready for that. I mean, one of those days I might just YOLO it out, like maybe October, take a sell and then just ride that down, because it did drop pretty heavily from right here. I mean, I could probably do like a 1-to-1 risk to reward for FOMC for maybe like 1,000 pips. So like, for example, right here. Yeah, if you do 1,000 pip TP stop loss, news came out right here at 11:30. I basically just need to be able to survive the crazy spike, right? So I think 1,000 pips or even 150 points would be a solid move to YOLO, basically, the FOMC. I never recommend that you guys trade news like that, but it's so like, there's only 3 months. So like, it's going to happen one of these 3 months where price is going to dump. So I think I might just take a YOLO trade on like one of my accounts and just let it play through. It's going to play through. It's probably going to drop. It's just not going to happen right now. It'll happen and we'll come back to this next month, because the FOMC news is going to happen week 3 of October. And then from there, I'll be like, okay, what does it look like? If I think price is going to dump, then, I'll just take a sell, go with like 1,000 pip TP stop loss and just let the trade run, because it's going to hit either one. It's either going to hit my trade or it's not. And I'll take it for like maybe a 3% risk, so I won't blow my account, but I'll still be able to reap the benefits if it does hit. All right, so price is starting to make its way back up. It looks like it's starting to swing up slightly, but not exactly there yet. All right, so let's see if we get the swing back to the upside right here. We got a pending buy signal right now. If this is the case, we may be able to have opportunity for a buy entry if this will correct back up, but I mean, we'll see what happens next. Yeah, exactly. C-suite said they have 2 more meetings before the end of the year for rate hikes. Yeah, so the rate hike is going to happen either in October, November, or December. Actually, 3 meetings with C-suite because there's still October, November, December. It's going to happen one of those months. I think it'll probably happen next month. It's either going to happen next month or November. I don't think it's going to happen in December because December is closer to the holidays. I don't think they're going to mess with the market around that time. I think either next month or November. Usually during the holidays, the market gets kind of slow. So we'll see. I mean, it might not even happen in November because actually, no, it might. It's still like a month's time until Christmas. Yeah. So this is like the benefit of trading with us, or if you guys have been trading with us for like a couple of years now, because we have all this data, like we've traded with each other, I think. So about almost for sure over 5 years. We trade over 5 years live every day. So you guys have seen how the market changes pretty much every year. And then now that we're going back into the holidays, you guys can reflect back to how we traded last November, right? Or last December. I think what I might do here for the spreadsheet, so you guys can see how we have a spreadsheet of 2023 data. I'm going to create another spreadsheet with 2022 data. I'll just make another tab here. Let's make a sheet 2, and I'll put 2022 data so that you guys can see like what strategies, what we were applying, in September or October, and then you guys can just figure out if you guys want to do that this year as well. So, we'll see. We'll just have to take the market as it comes because there's no way to really predict what's going to happen next. All right, so we got a buy signal right here, guys. We need a directional push to the upside and then a retracement and then possible entry for a buy. So looking at this right here, we need price to push up slightly, retrace, and continue. We need to push up higher. We can't go any lower because if price pulls back to here, the entry is going to be here and it's too low. We need price to be a bit higher. So I needed to push up slightly, just a little bit. It doesn't need to push up too much, but just enough. Let's take a look at sentiment. Sentiment's pretty flat. It's back to 51. Looking over here at the fundamentals, it's pretty flat too. It's back to 100. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. All right, so if we get a red candle right here, the entry would be right here at the 600 mark. The ATR is currently at 15, so it's starting to die down a little bit. We got to keep an eye out on that too. Make sure the ATR doesn't get too low. So if it gets too low, there's not going to be any opportunity for entry here. So we got about 20 seconds here. This red candle can't close below this black line. If it closes below, there's not going to be any room for opportunity. It has to close above it. So keep that in mind, guys. We got about 10 seconds left on this candle right here. We got about 5 seconds. Again, if it closes above it, an entry view right there at the 600 mark. So the entry would happen right there. See if I get into this. ATR is currently at 15. It's kind of low right now. See if I put a buy stop here to catch it as it swings up. Let's see. My buy stop set right there. So I'll see if I catch it when it swings up right here. See where the range is. So it hasn't filled yet. I'm watching my order over here. See as it kind of climbs around. All right, looks like my order is now filled. I'm watching it right here as the price continues to move around. I'm gonna have to close that up manually because of the spread. It's kind of wide right now on FTMO. Price is pushing up. Looks like it hit full TP right there, guys. So if you guys take the momentum pullback scalp, full TP right there. Finally got our entry for the day as I mentioned, guys, if you guys are patient, you can find at least 1 or 2 good entries. You look for these quality entries here, filled, hit, full TP, little to no drawdown, and straight TP right there. Yeah, exactly. Dan said well worth the wait. Daniel said done for the day. Thanks, Sean. Definitely. Andrew said got it. William got it. Sisu caught it. Nice work, guys. And it's still pushing up, but you just got to be smart about these positions, guys. Don't get greedy. You just got to hop into the position, be smart about it. I mean, you can hold it if you like, but this market is just, it's not the market you want to be taking that unnecessary risk in. So yeah, I mean, it's shooting up. And so here's the thing, guys. This is the reason why we trade with momentum and with trend, right? Because we know the direction of price. Even if you make a mistake, if you take a buy here, any buy, you'll probably still be good because the market's probably going to go in your direction, right? So for example, if you say you enter at the wrong entry point or something right here, right? We have the trend going upwards. We have the trend with the trend meter and the pivots. We have the momentum here. So it doesn't matter where you enter. You could have entered for a buy anywhere around this area. Regardless of the fact, if your trade would have filled, eventually it would hit your TP, as long as your TP is not super far out. So that's why for me, I like to trade, and I like to only trade in the direction where I know I'm for sure going to win, right? And that's why we have such a high win rate and why we have such high consistency here, because we're not really taking every single trade. We're being very consistent and very disciplined with like the quality trades so that we take the ones that actually matter, which is something like this. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of this right here. Yeah, definitely, Andrew. Andrew said, thanks for the great profits today. Definitely. Vince caught it. Maria caught it. Everyone caught it. All right. So if you guys have profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Guys, just a reminder, if you're not in the Discord, we're transitioning to the Discord by the end of the month. So I'll post the link up again in the Discord, and then you guys, or I'll post the link in the Telegram so that you guys can join. So I want to make sure that you guys don't miss it, because you're not going to get the links for the live sessions anymore if you're not on the Discord. All right, so I'll just post that right there. Let me take a screenshot of my individual or my copier. It's 7:40 right now, guys. So I don't think we're going to have another entry from now until 8 o'clock. But I mean, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We'll keep looking for possible entries, but we have about 20 minutes right here. Volatility is starting to die down. Yeah, volatility is currently, well, it's at 16. It's not horrible, but I don't think we're going to get a retracement and a continuation from now until 8. That's good. So I opened another, I have like 10 accounts now, guys. I don't even know if they all show up on my thing. Oh, they do. Okay. So I have 10 accounts here now. The second account I added was another personal account. So with the other personal account, I added it to, because with Hero FX, there's 2 different US30. So I have one that's kind of executing on a different US30. I think there's US30 regular and then US30R, which is raw. So I'm testing both of them and to see what gives better profits. And then once I figure out which one does, I'll just move all my funds to that one account. So I have 2 personal accounts, and then obviously my other accounts here. So let me screenshot this real quick. All right. So if you guys have profits to share, feel free to send them in. I'm going to take a screenshot of all my profits, and I will send them to the group now. Okay, so I'm still looking at the charts, but I don't see any entries coming up here. Let me just go over the profits real quick. So here are all my profits for the day, week, and month so far. So this is my first funded engineer account, total profit of 970. This is my first FTMO account, 1,030. My second FTMO account, 930. Third account, 980. My 200K FTMO account, 2,060. This is my funded engineer 100K account, 480. This is my first personal account locked in 315. My second personal account locked in 285. This is my TFF account, 965, and my second TFF account, total profit of 965. So for the day so far, let me just add these up so that you guys can have more context as to like why I'm taking more quality entries versus every single entry. I've only been taking like 1 or 2 entries a day. So for the day so far, I took 1 entry, locked in 970 plus 1030 plus 930 plus 980 plus 2060 plus 480 plus 315 plus 285 plus 965 plus 965. So total profit of 8,980 across all of my accounts for the day so far. And then for the week so far, I'm currently up 2060, 2330, 2280, 2330, 4960, 1020, 225, 645. 2357, 2157. So for the week, I'm up 20,364. I've only taken like 2 or 3 trades this entire week, I think, or maybe 4 trades, but I've only taken like 1 trade on Monday. I took the breakout the other day, and then I took this trade today. So for the week, that's how much I'm up. And then for the month so far, 9490. And I'm just showing you guys this because if you guys just stick to the live sessions, these are only trades taken on during the live session. If you guys stick to the live session, you guys should have no problem with finding, consistency. Because if you're literally doing all that I'm doing, I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? You're just going to have profit. It's going to be automatic because I'm only taking quality entries, and I'm pretty much giving you guys a heads up before the trade is even taken. So you guys should be expecting the entry when they come up, or if you guys know the strategy is even better. All right. So total profit of 83,524 for the month. So I typically don't take the screenshot of the month because I'm not here to like show off what I made. I just want to show you guys this is the consistency. If you took every trade on the live session from September 1st up until September 21st, we've been in this month for 21 days. These are all my profits for the month. For the week, if you took all my trades from Monday up until Thursday, this is where you should be right now. It doesn't matter if you have multiple accounts or 1 account. This right here is a 100K account. So if you had a 100K FTMO account, this is where your profits would be. If you had a 200K with FTMO, this is where your profits would be. If you had a personal account, which for my personal account, I have 10,000 in the account. I'm not necessarily risking that much, but if you had a personal account with me or your own personal account, this is my personal account right here. So this is how much you make for personal, 200K account, 100K account, right? It's like, I'm trying to be as transparent with you guys as possible so that you guys understand. If you don't make mistakes and you don't trade outside the live session, you have no problem getting, 5%, 10%, etc. Because, this is a 100K account, which is 10% right there, 10,000. So I just want to show you guys that like it's possible. The thing is, you guys have to like understand where you make mistakes. I always get a lot of people who complain that they're not profitable. And then I tell them to show me their trades. What happens is they make profit during these live sessions. And then once 8 o'clock hits, I'm like, hey guys, I'm done for the day. They keep trading from like 8 to 12. They end up blowing their account or they end up taking a bunch of losses. And then it's just a back and forth cycle for them, right? Your goal isn't to so your goal here isn't to take a bunch of trades, guys. Your goal is to take a few trades with proper risk and just continuously gain that profit. Because if you just keep adding it up, eventually you'll be in profit, right? At the end of the week or the end of the month. So yeah, I mean, just use this here as motivation and just stay consistent, because I'm going to try to help you guys as much as possible. But if you guys can't take the help or you guys can't follow direction, it's going to be really difficult for you guys to really find yourself as consistent as you need to be. So yeah, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. There's no entries for us right now. Currently, the trend here is still somewhat bullish for the pivots. We have a sell signal right here. We would need a buy signal to push price up, retrace and continue. And once we get that, that'd be another opportunity for a momentum pullback scalp. But I'm not really seeing that happening from now until 8 o'clock. It's 7:48 right now. We have 12 minutes till 8. I'm not really expecting that to happen anytime soon. So other than that, let's take a look at everybody else's profits. So we've got William over here, total profit of about 1,000 for the day. So nice work right there, William. Solid profits right there. Looking over here at the team profits. So we got Ross over here, total profit of 8,340. Nice work right there. We have Madhu over here, total profit of 510 for the day, all wins. We've got Natasha here, total profit of 627 for the day, all wins as well. We've got Nathan over here, total profit of 1,170 for the day, all wins. We have Marcin over here, total profit of 173 for the day, all wins as well. Nice work, Marcin. We have Barty over here, total profit of 2,470 for the day, all wins there. We have Drew here, total profit of 2,995 for the day. Looks like he had a small loss there. So, with just the profits here, 3,000, but just a small loss right there. And then a lot of fees too. So, it happens. And that looks like it's about it. Marcin's earlier profit, 65.38. So if you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, I'm going to take individual screenshots of my profits so that you guys can see the trades that I took today. And then we'll wrap it up. So again, guys, if you guys are not part of the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. I'll post a link up in the chat again a little later. But yeah, for the most part, it looks good. Let me take a screenshot of my my top step too. So I've been taking trades behind the scenes. Obviously, I took trades pre-market, trades during the live, etc. My trades weren't great, but I'm still profitable on there too. So I made that profit plus my top step. I didn't add my top step onto here. So I'm just taking a lot of speculative trades. For my top step over here, you can see currently up 660 for the day, total profit of 2,250, one loss or two losses actually of 1,590, but I have a pretty decent win rate of 78%. So pretty decent for my speculative moves right there. So yeah, if you guys have more profit to send in, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, I don't see any other entries here. So if you guys want to wrap it up, feel free, but I will be on here for the next few minutes as I take screenshots of my my individual accounts. Yeah, no problem, Marcin. Definitely. Yeah, Marcin said, thank you everyone for today. Great community, a lot of info and market perspectives. Learned a lot from you. Yeah, definitely, Marcin. It's all good. Everyone starts somewhere. And once you find that consistency and discipline, then you're going to be way ahead of a lot of other people out there. Because I feel like a lot of people out there, they're profitable, but they're not consistent. So you'll see a lot of people who make profits, but they're not able to keep it. They'll make profits and then they'll lose it all. And it's crazy. It's just a never ending cycle for a lot of people, which sucks. But, until you really get past that level, you're never really going to be consistent. So I think if you guys stay here long enough and you guys start to develop my characteristics and my, my discipline, my stuff, my trading habits they just wear off on you guys. The more that you guys are here, the better you guys will be at being consistent. So let me just take individual screenshots of my profits real quick. I got so many accounts now, it's crazy. That one. Yeah, Natasha said, I can take trades just listening to Sean. I don't even have to look at the charts. LOL, that's how good it is. I know it's crazy because Natasha is not lying. She's Natasha's at work right now and she has her headphones on and she's just entering trades, just listening to me talk. She's not even looking at the charts because she's on her phone executing the trades. So, if you guys are good at listening, Natasha here is a great listener. So if you can get on Natasha's listening level, it can open up so many opportunities because Natasha doesn't even look at charts. She doesn't look at price. Whenever I say I'm in, she's in. When I say I'm out, she's out. She's a good listener and she knows how to follow directions. So I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of people. They don't know how to follow directions. So, if that's your problem, you just got to work on it. Work on following directions, listening, and you should be perfectly fine. That's funny that you mentioned that, Natasha, because I just picture you at work right now, on your phone, not even looking at the charts, just listening to me on the Zoom and then entering trades whenever I say I'm going to enter a trade. Because you did pretty good. So for Natasha over here, if you look at the Discord, Natasha posted her profits. She did pretty good for someone who's not really looking at the charts. She has her headphones on and she took how many trades here, right? Whenever we say liquidity is going to hit or any of this stuff is going on, she made imagine making this much profit and not looking at the charts, just listening to my live session. That's crazy. But yeah, no, I'm definitely glad that you're able to do that, Natasha, because not a lot of people can do that. So let's see. Let me just take a screenshot of my personal account. I'll just take this one. I haven't logged into my other one. I have 2 personal accounts. And then lastly, my TFF. TFF is the same, so I'll just screenshot one. All right, so I got a screenshot of all of my profits here. I'm going to put this in a group real quick. All right, so I haven't logged into my other. I'll do that later. I don't have to log in right now. I'll just share with you guys my profits that I have on my current account. So here's my first funded engineer account, total profit of 970. Here's my first FTMO account, total profit of 1,030. Here's my second FTMO account, 980. Here's my main account. You guys can see the green strip. This is where I execute all my trades. This is my 200K FTMO account, total profit of 2,060. Everything pretty much just copies this account right here. This is my funded engineer account, second account, total profit of 480. Here's my personal account, total profit of 297. Here is my TFF account, total profit of 1,000, and my second TFF account, total profit of 1,000 as well. So those are all of my profits, all of my individual profits. If there's more profits that you guys want to share, feel free to send them in and I'll add them to the list. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. If there's any other question that you guys have, put them in the chat and I'll answer whatever you need help with. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up. It is 7:56 right now, so about 4 minutes till 8. I don't think this trend is going to shift from now until then. So we can't really look for any sell entries. It's kind of crazy to see how consistent these moves have been if you guys have been following it. So like, for example, here, this was I think a 12 pip or a 12 candle move to the upside. And then again, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles down, and then a push up here, and then a continuation down here. So there's been a lot of like directional pushes. It's kind of weird because it kind of looks like high and sheet candles. If you guys have used those candles before, this is how they look because they're like connected, but these are actually regular candles, which is kind of interesting to see them move like this because they typically don't move like that ever. Let me go and just copy these over real quick. All right, Shiv. Yeah, we'll see you back here tomorrow. But yeah, if there's any other questions, guys, put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to put this in here real quick so that I can have these on the Discord. I'll post the Discord link shortly as well, so that you guys can join if you guys haven't joined yet. Yes, we did both of my TFS right here. All right, so I think that's about it, guys. So I don't see any other questions here. Looks like we're gonna wrap this up. So, all right, guys, if you guys are new here, again, make sure to join the website, kodikaitrades.com. If you guys want access to the Discord, access to the strategies, access to anything, really, videos regarding anything that we've covered here, just go to our website, kodikaitrades.com, click on unlock your free access right here. This will give you access to pretty much the entire course, just not the indicators. And then if you guys want to review any of these live trading sessions, go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/KodiKaiTrades. You guys will see all the live sessions here, all the results, all the mentoring sessions, all the strategies, all of everything here pretty much. And if you guys want easier access to all of this, just make sure that you join the Discord. So when you join the Discord, make sure that you click up here to Kodi Kai Trades, click on show all channels, because if you don't, this is what it's going to look like. You're not going to have everything on here. But if you click on show all channels, it'll pull up everything here. So if you guys are on here, everything's kind of lined up here. It's easy to see. You guys will have all the strategies lined up right here, all the announcements, all the live Zooms, all the mentoring sessions, all the results. Official profits are going to be mine. Team profits are going to be everybody else's. If you go to Trading Journal, it'll have all the trades from 2023 lined up right here in the spreadsheet. All the breakout V2 entries, all the momentum counter scalp entries, team chat, etc. We got so much stuff here and so much. There's just so much information here. If you guys haven't gotten your information or you guys haven't gotten on here, make sure to get on here because there's so much stuff to look at. And there's so much data here that you guys can use to your advantage. So, my main goal here is to make sure that you guys are all profitable, and we're going to keep doing that. So, all right, guys, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys.